I am back on the Talk Music podcast, and I am absolutely delighted to finally be joined by the one and only, the massively entertaining, the real winner of American Idol. Let's not forget the real winner, Casey Basie, aka Casey Abrams. Casey, how are you, man?
I'm good, thanks. Yes, I'll win one of these days.
Yes, well, we're gonna sort it out. We're gonna. I think you should go on in disguise and do the UK one. I think it'll be. I think you'll win it no problem. We
I'll
can
uh,
talk.
I'll shave my beard and just do that. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, it's great to finally chat. I think we've known out about each other for a long time. When we'll start off with that,
yeah.
you and I have a mutual friend, the extremely talented Nora Germain. So let's talk about you start off because you've known her a lot longer than I have. When you first seen Nora play violin, what was your immediate thoughts?
Oh, she was the best. She still is, and it's funny because she knows it too. I like that she knows it. She's very confident, but she's literally like at the drop of a hat. There's a video of us on all the social medias where I'm like, hey, let's play Cherokee, which is one of the fastest songs that jazz that you could do. And I'm just like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and she could do that like faster than I can even go doodle doodle. Like she's just there. She's she's a genius. She's the I don't use that word lightly. She's really a musical genius, and she can go along for the ride as fast or as slow as you want. So she likes to do it too. She has fun doing it. So, and I know her from high school. I went to Idlewild Arts, which is, I'm in LA now, but I grew up in Idlewild, which is a small mountain town 2 hours east of here. And so we both took the same jazz class and had the same jazz teacher. His name's Marshall Hawkins, and he studied with Miles Davis. Not studied, played with Miles Davis and Shirley Horn and Herbie Hancock and all these amazing people and so many other names. But that's how I met her. And then she ended up coming to LA, and she was living in New York. And then now we just jam all the time. We actually just did a gig up in Idlewild as well. We played at a red carpet event and handed out the best music composition award for the film department. So we're still connected.
No, it's so good to hear you say all those great things about Nora. I've seen all those videos throughout the years of you guys playing together, and she's one of these people, regardless of how many times I hear her play, I'm always amazed by her talent. It just seems like a bottomless pit of musical talent. Very similar to
Exactly. Yeah.
yourself. And one thing that to lead us into the next part, we're going to talk about your UK tour, which is very exciting in a moment. But I
Mm-hmm.
believe the last time you were in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, may well have been with Postmodern Jukebox. And in the Glasgow
It
show,
was.
Nora Germain played. Do you remember that gig? I was present at that one. What are your memories of that show?
Uh, yes. Well, I remember I was like very happy because it just so happened. I forgot what we did. I think, did we do Family Guy theme
Yes,
song? Do you
yes.
remember?
Hmm.
Okay. And I wonder if she did anything else. Was Ariana Savalas there?
I don't remember. I just remember Nora went up. She did Family Guy, and I think she did another song, and then she came on at the end when it was the big kind of
Yeah.
all the band on Live
Um,
Aid.
right. No, I remember also introducing her to Aubrey Logan, who is a great singer and trombone player. And they have kind of a similar geniusy vibe. So, yeah.
No, it was great. It was,
There's
and
some
of
people
course,
knocking. Come in. No, no, I don't know. There's people that just moved out of my. If you hear any knocking, don't let them in. All right. So
that's
what
okay.
are you saying?
It's fine. It sounded in time with the jazz vibe, so we're all good. So we were talking
Good.
about your last time in the UK. So let's transition on to the next time in the UK because this is very exciting, and I'm going to read this verbatim. 20th of July, you're in North Wales, followed by Manchester the very next night, 21st of July, followed by London the 23rd of July, and one more that we're going to speak about in a minute. But before we get to that, let's talk about these three dates in the UK. How exciting is this?
It's very exciting because I've been over there a bunch of times. I've even recorded my very first album there. So I did it right in Kensington Studio, the same place that Jason Mraz recorded his album. Can you hear that? I'm just making sure, like the knocking, you can hear it.
I can hear the knocking loud and clear, but the bass is loud and clear too, so it's all good.
Good. All right, let's see if I can get it on rhythm. All right, one there. Anyway, yeah, I recorded my first album in London, and that was in 2011, right after American Idol. And I recorded in the same studio that was Jason Mraz's very first album as well, which he did I won't hesitate no more, no more. I'm yours. So I played on the same instruments that he played it on his song, same bass, same producer, Martin Tereffi. And so that was magic to be in London for that. My first ever time leaving the US as well was with my parents when I was probably like 9 or 10 to go to Totnes, where there was this rock shop camp. And so that was my, yeah, I've been to the UK tons of times. I did a rock shop in Totnes as well when I was a sophomore in high school, and got to do this thing with this guy named Herbie Flowers, who's like the bass player on all these. I think he was the bass player on Tequila.
All right, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I got to the UK has a special place in my heart, and of course, one of my first tours ever was with Postmodern Jukebox in 2014 or 15, and I know it's not. I don't know if it's not technically part of the UK. In fact, I'm sure it's not. But my first ever show was in Belfast, Northern Ireland, and that was the first time. And I just remember getting a standing ovation. And the encore song was Stacy's Mom. So, and I remember just coming out, and everyone was like, "Casey, Casey," and I was like, "Wow, this is amazing." And then the rest of the UK was amazing. You know, in Manchester, London, Brighton, Birmingham. And then all the places in Scotland are just insanely beautiful. I mean, yeah, Glasgow is beautiful. And what's the place with the big castle that's based off of, or I mean,
Edinburgh.
they based off of Harry Potter. Yep. Like
Yeah.
insane. Like just being over there. I love the accent. It's beautiful. So to do my very own thing and go over there and do it under the name Casey Abrams is a blessing. It's very exciting.
You mentioned Scotland there, and Scotland specifically having a special place in your heart. And on the 25th of July, hot off the press, just been booked today as we record this, Paisley Bungalow, a fantastic venue. How excited are you to be in Scotland specifically in such an intimate setting? That'll be absolutely great, won't it?
Excited. I'm excited about that. Yeah. Thanks for hooking that up. I appreciate it. And
No
yeah,
problem at all.
are you gonna come?
Absolutely. Try and stop me. I will
Good.
be there.
Okay.
Uh,
Good.
no, it'll be great. No, I think it's really, really good. And what I like about it seems so prominent. It's not just, I know you were on you were on American Idol, but at the same time, I think music lovers love music and they totally appreciate the level of talent, and people have continued to follow you. Obviously in Postmodern Jukebox as well, and they've stuck by you, and it's great to see. And I'm sure the UK tour coming up, there'll be a great reception for sure. So let's talk about Postmodern Jukebox, because I actually don't know the kind of origins of that. Are you there from the start of that? What point did you get involved? What is the story?
No, I was there during almost the very beginning. I think they started in 2012 or 2013. And yeah, they went viral with a couple of hits and some things that I had seen. I remember they did "Why You Gotta Be So Rude." They did that song, but made it sound like it was from the 1950s. It was like so cool. And then All About That Bass they had with I forgot her name, but I'll look it up. But and then Royals with the 7 Foot Clown, Puddle's Pity Party. So like these things had already went viral, and I didn't realize that they were all the same band. I was just like, oh, there's some cool people that are redoing jazz. They're redoing pop to sound like old jazz. And I was like, well, I've done that before, but they're the band that does that. So I didn't know that. And then my buddy Jacob Sesney, who is a sax player who I toured with, he was like, hey, I'm sitting in with this band in LA, and they're called Postmodern Jukebox. Scott Bradley likes you. He wants to have you come sit in with the band. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll come sit in. So I was actually on my own tour, the Casey Abrams tour in like 2014. And so then I went home, sat in with them in LA, met them that night. I remember calling Scott, the leader of Postmodern Jukebox, and I was calling him on the way to the gig. They had this residency playing every week at Hyde on Sunset. So as I was driving there, he called me and he's like, "What do you want to sing tonight?" I was like, "Well, I don't know. There's this Sam Smith song that's pretty popular that I like. I'm not really into the popular songs, but I heard it on the radio and I was like, let's do this since it's popular." And it was "I'm Not the Only One" by Sam Smith. And so we just tried it. We just tried it, and that night we just rehearsed and we just went over like we're like, well, let's do like New Orleans, the verse. And then like then we're like, well, how about during the choruses we walk it, you know, hey, I'm crazy because you don't think I know what you've done. So and then from that, it's all history. And then the next week I went and we did Stacy's Mom. He said, "I have this version of Stacy's Mom. Let's try it out." And then maybe a couple months after that, we recorded it. And then a couple months after that, he was like, "Do you want to go on tour with us?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I didn't even have to play the bass. I would play it every once in a while, but mostly I would play. I would just get up and sing. And that was cool. And then on that same tour, we recorded the version that I think is very popular, which is all about that bass. And it's like the tour version. I think it's got a couple million hits. It was the same time that Haley Reinhart recorded Creep. So I remember sitting there watching Creep. And so every time I see that video, I'm like, wow, I remember before it was viral, she was singing it on tour. So it's like really cool. But yeah, that's my origins story. I think I was on the second European tour ever. So apparently before that they were just in kind of like a van, but this time I was in a bus, and it was really like a 2-story bus. You guys are famous for those 2-story moving vehicles over there. And it was magic. And ever since then I've been doing videos and sitting in with those guys as much as possible.
It must be such a thrill to be part of something more or less at the start and just watch it grow, and not just as far as the buses and the arenas, but just watching online this just becoming this phenomenon. What's it just like waking up, I suppose, a couple of days after recording this thing or it being uploaded, and then there's millions of views on it, and then and everybody's talking about it. What's it like to be a part of that?
It's really good. I mean, it never gets old. I like it. I mean, I love attention, and so the fact that a million people, and I don't even know who those million people are, but there some retweets. But it's really it it's what's the opposite of humbles you? It gives you a big head, you know. So you have to find that balance. But no, it's fun. I mean, it's really good because there was a time where I was kind of I would walk on the streets and people would recognize me from American Idol. And I'd like that, but some people would be like, "Hey, American Idol guy, what's up?" And so I was like, "Oh, well, I like it, but that's not my name." And now sometimes people come up and they're like, "Hey, you're that Postmodern Jukebox guy." And so it's like, "Oh, well, that's cool. At least they know me for something." And it gave me a good perspective of the fact that I can keep doing things, you know, like I can put myself in the position of some kind of guy. They recognize me. "Hey, you're that guy." You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful thing. And the fact, I feel like it was the second coming of American Idol, because American Idol, I would kind of do jazzy covers, and then Postmodern Jukebox, it's like more longevity because it's like years and years of things and going on tours for years that I could keep doing these songs and doing what I love to do, you know?
Mhm. The equivalent of, I don't know whether you know this or not, it was a phenomenon here. The equivalent of American Idol over here is the X Factor. Now, I think there's a kind of version of that in the States. I'm not too sure. You'll know better than me. But a lot of the kind of the artists that go on that show that also sing and play their own songs. They're musicians, obviously, like yourself, and they go on. A lot of them kind of in the aftermath, they feel like, oh, I'm kind of getting tagged with this X Factor reality TV show thing, and it makes their career that little bit more difficult. I don't know for sure if that has been the case with yourself, because you went on there, as you said, playing jazzy covers, playing the double bass, and it's very evident that you're an extremely accomplished musician. But other than being recognized in the streets for being the American Idol guy, as you pointed out, did you feel you were tarred with some sort of brush negatively musically moving forward after that show, or was it all positive?
I think it was all positive. There was a time again where I like didn't want to be tagged with it, but man, now these days I will hashtag American Idol as much as possible. I literally just the other day just posted a video of Scotty McCreery, who was first place. I tagged a video of him winning, and and me being a part of that. I'm like, you know what? I'll be as American Idol as possible. But yeah, there was a time where I wrote in my contract, don't put them. You know, like there was when they were putting up the venues and like the marquee, it said American Idol's Casey Abrams. I was like, please take that down. Now looking back, I'm like, man, I should have just been using that name. It's like when you use that name, you open up a million more doors because people will be like they associate you with that, and it's a big thing. It's like, oh, well, if he's on that, and he must be okay, you know, no matter what it is. Like I was afraid that people would be like, oh, he's not a real musician, he's on that show. But like it's like, so, you know, like there's so many people that want to get on that show. So I have a different take. I definitely was not into it at first, but I was happy I was on it, and I still remain to be happy that I was on it. I want to go back. I actually went back on the show as well and just did a Beatles cover just for fun. It was Beatles week, and I'm blessed to have had that experience. And anytime, even the fact that I'm still in contact with all the American Idol producers and all, it's a blessing. So I've changed my tune. I really love those guys.
That's awesome. So I've obviously watched a lot of the videos of you on the show, and what an amazing lineup on the panel. I'm going to talk to you about Jack Black in a minute because you've had so many collaborations with him. But maybe in some of your interviews that I haven't seen you've been asked about as such, one of the members on the panel was, of course, the lead singer in Aerosmith. So Steven Tyler, did he, speak to you at any point? Did you get any kind of advice from him? Any stories about him kind of backstage, so to speak? Anything at all?
Yep. I think, I mean, other than Randy, who, you know, executive produced my album, I think I was like closest with Steven. There's a bunch of times. There was one time where he gave me advice, and his advice was he pointed at me and did this. He was like, so he basically told me to cut my beard. And it was weird because I was like, wait, this is a rock star move to have a beard. No, anyway. But I did it. I actually trimmed the next week. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. But there was one time where he smoked a pretend joint and then handed it to me, and then I took a hit too, and then he gave me a thumbs up and went out. That was amazing. And then there was one time where he had a harmonica, a mini harmonica, probably this big, that was around his neck, and he was like, and he took it off and he put it around my head, and I still have it. But the fact is that he tried to put it around my head, and it came up to around here. I have a big head, so it was like here was the harmonica just dangling from his necklace. So anyway, I put it in my pocket, and I still have it to this day. So that was, I feel like he really was a like an advocate for me. It felt really good.
Well, that's amazing. That's a great insight
Yeah.
there. And of course, Jack
Yeah.
Black. When you, what was your first interaction with Jack Black on the show? What is the story there?
They asked me if you had to duet with someone, who would it be? And I gave them either Jack Black or Esperanza Spalding. And man, I'm so glad that they did Jack Black, because we still have a friendship to this day, and he's really nice. Our our first interaction, not in person, was him. We we had a phone call, and it was deciding for the finale what song it would be, and he was like, I remember it was just like, hi, this is Nigel, the producer. Hi, this is Ken, the producer. Hi, this is this guy. Hi, this is this guy. And then Jack was like, hey, this is Jack Black. There's a lot of people on this call, right? It just felt like humanized him a lot more than he already was humanized. Like I was like, this guy is down to earth. He's like, he's not used to this many calls. You know, he's just a dude. And so he's like, Casey, I was thinking we should do the double rainbow song. You know, they auto-tune that double rainbow guy, that viral YouTube guy. And I like that idea. And I was like, I like that, Jack. But the producers were saying maybe we should do Fat Bottom Girls. He's like, I like that too. But whatever happens, Casey, whatever we do on that stage will be a complete double rainbow. And I was like, oh, that's magic. And then when I met him in person, I was so nervous. I was like so excited to meet him. He walked in with sunglasses. He looked at me and he just lifted up his shirt and just revealed his belly, almost did like a little belly dance. And I don't know, my first reaction was I just gave his belly a big hug. So and then I remember he was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was planning that in the car. I was like, how do I meet Casey? It was just like, I'm gonna lift up my shirt. So that was my first time meeting him, and ever since then he's done a couple of videos of mine. I was just like, hey, do you want to be a part of my single? He's like, yeah, dude. And and he's been a big. I've had a couple surgeries as well, and he's looked after me in a lot of ways in making sure that I'm healthy. So he's a really good guy. I actually just did Fat Bottom Girls last night at this country jamboree here in LA, and yeah, I was even like, man, should I hit up Jack Black? You know, like, should I? I feel dirty not doing the song without with him. So, but yeah, he's a good guy, and he's the perfect balance of just down to earth and talented and confident.
Yeah, I mean, talking of confidence, I was watching a lot of the videos earlier of you on that show, and you just seem supremely confident. I
Thanks.
know music is what it is and everything. A lot of time, musicians on stage are putting on an act slightly, and there may be a bit of nerves. Walking onto that stage, are you completely confident in that setting there? Was there a lot of nerves? It's TV. There's millions of people watching. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, I was nervous. There was one time where I froze up and I didn't remember one of the lyrics to the songs, and they were like, "All right, 30 seconds." I was like, "What is the first lyric?" And so I had to like call one of the crew guys. I was like, "What is the first lyric to the song?" He told me, and then they're like, "Three, two, one." I was like, "Oh, thank God!" And so I did it. But I remember right afterwards, Ryan Seacrest came up to me, and I remember this shooting pain down my spine. Apparently, I feel like it was the adrenaline just kind of kicked in, and so then as soon as the performance was over, the adrenaline left my body, and all I felt was just pain. I was like, oh my gosh, I really, it was a fight or flight moment, and I really fought. You know, it's like my natural instincts was to fight the scaredness and be confident. So no, I mean, I think I was pretty confident on that show, and I really look back and I'm like, wow, I hit those notes pretty well. I think singing in front of millions of people, uh, is easier than singing in front of one person or five people, 1 to 5 people, because you're putting your life and your soul into your hands, and you're looking someone in the eye and singing to them. That's like, it could be awkward.
Hmm.
So if you can do that, I feel like you can do anything. So I've had the best of both worlds. I've had singing in front of my parents and like telling them the story. That's scary, you know what I mean? Because you don't want them to judge you. But if you can do that, and you realize that uh, that you're winning no matter what, then you can do anything. And so going on that show, I was like, oh yeah, there's some celebrities in the audience, but like, what am I going to do? This is what I was born to do. I'm just going to do this and have a good time. So the confidence kicks in. And when I'm around people and in front of audiences, I love looking at people and just telling them the story that is the song, you know? So yeah, I don't get nervous. It's there was that one time, but it's uh when it comes, I think I perk up when I'm in front of a lot of people. So I think the confidence, I used to be a shy kid, but you pretend to be confident and then you are confident, you fake it till you make it.
You've mentioned your parents a couple of times now. I'm getting a vibe that your parents have been very supportive of your music career. Am I right in saying that? And what was their reaction to you wanting to play music? Was it piano first? Am I right in saying?
Yeah, that was yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a piano and we did recorder in school in first grade. So when I was like 5 or 6,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
little flute things. But yeah, I would have piano lessons, and uh yeah, they were completely into it. I mean, they're artists themselves. They're in the film industry. My
Oh, great.
dad's a producer, my mom's a screenwriter. And my dad taught film and my mom taught screenwriting. So it was good. They're in the arts, so they were like, well, yeah, you should do the music. And they were completely like, not once were they like, oh yeah, you should get a normal job. They were like, yeah, you should pursue your dreams. And that, I'm really blessed to have that now. They were very confident, and I'm glad I had them as cheerleaders, and they're still cheerleading me on no matter what. So that's the good part. And they paid for my bass lessons, my piano lessons, sitar lessons every once in a while. And
Wow.
yeah, I have. Maybe I'll break it out by the end of the interview. But yeah, they were really really confident. And my mom was the one who introduced me to Idol. Me and my dad were like, "What are you watching? Stop watching that." And then she was like, "No, you should go on there." I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out." And the rest is history.
Oh, that's amazing. So when you say you play in front of your parents, is this going back at a while, or do you still, if you've got a new song, you go, do you know what, I'm going to run this by my mum and dad? What is the deal there?
I'll sing. Yeah, I'll sing in front of them every once in a while, but mostly it's me recording something and sending it to them and seeing if they like it, or playing it in front of them. So yeah, that'll happen. And I'm trying to think the last time I played them something. I was definitely up in Idlewild showing them one of my songs. Oh yeah, it was this version of "Can't Buy Me Love," and they really liked it. So, and I did this 4-part harmony, kind of like four freshmen, kind of like uh some really advanced kind of jazz harmony things. And I was like, I'm gonna get this person and this person to sing on it. And they're like, why don't you just release it as just 4 of you? Like, just put it out. And I was like, okay, maybe. But I like sharing the harmony with other people and seeing if I can do it live. So, but yeah, no, that was the last time I played for them. And then they've my mom just actually came to Cafe Aroma and watched me play uh, jazz with my old teachers in Idlewild, and I'll sing in front of them all the time if it's a performance. So that's the cool part.
It's great because scrolling through your Instagram, you've played in such everything from top arenas and just the most random places, and you've had a very kind of eclectic. You've had some many kind of eclectic performances and a range of things. Is there a venue that you've not played yet that you think, "Do you know what, I really want to play there"?
Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
Yep. Let me think. Yeah, that's the one. I've done. There's ones that I've done. I remember actually I have a signed poster. I'll see if I can get it down, from Jack Black and Kyle Gass from Tenacious D. They
Okay.
played Red Rocks
Hmm.
in Colorado. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah.
And we got to play that with Postmodern Jukebox. That was amazing. And that was one that they were like, you should check this out. And the Microsoft Theater, which was, I forget what it was, the Kodak Theater used to be. I played that with American Idol. And New York, I've also played Carnegie Hall. Like, so like I've done a lot of the bucket list stuff, but I guess Madison Square Garden, I think that's the next thing.
I think Madison Square Garden will probably be your the if as far as ideal venues is concerned, probably the second from the top. The top being Bungalow in Paisley in Glasgow, Scotland, the 25th of July. So tickets again on sale, caseybasie.com and all over social media. So again, we're going back and forth here, but the UK tour coming up. I'm intrigued to know, what are we getting at all at these gigs? What is it? Is it a mixture of originals, covers? Because I would imagine if people shout out songs, I suspect that you would oblige there and then. I don't know for sure, but what's in the set list, do we think?
Originals. Um, I'd say it's a good balance. It's a good half originals, half covers, and out of those covers, gonna be maybe some postmodern jukebox covers as well. and it's literally just me and my bass. And it's just so I'm literally gonna full orchestra. I'll be playing the bass parts. I'll be playing the guitar parts. I'll be playing the drum parts, and then I'll have some friends that come along as well. That come sing, come play saxophone, maybe come play a washboard or something like that. But yeah, the set list is some originals, some new ones, some new originals, some old originals, postmodern jukebox, some jazz covers, and maybe a Blink 182 cover in there as well.
Stay tuned, because I would imagine as well. It seems to me you've got such an advance, similar to Nora actually. This crazy kind of harmonic understanding. Like we're going back to talk about Nora. Any song that you kind of mentioned to Nora, she could just play off the top of her head. Naively, I've said to her a couple of times, right? Okay, so we'll try this song. It's this chord, is it? And she's like, "Yeah, got it. Just play it," and away she goes. So once again, I would
Right.
imagine that you're in that position. So if you don't mind, I might name a song and I might name a certain style, and maybe you could give it a go. I like this. You're armed and ready. Love it. Right. Ace of Spades in some sort of swing jazz style.
The ace of spades, the ace of spades, the ace of spades. I wish I knew more, but
Oh, it's
that's the
great.
gist of it. Not anymore?
Bravo. Bravo. Okay,
Thanks.
okay. What about Wannabe but the Spice Girls and some sort of bossa nova?
If you want my future, you better tell my past. If you wanna get with me, you better make it fast. Now don't go wasting my precious time. Get your act together, we could be alright. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what I really, really want.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Again, I knew this would happen. And again, I could see the Scottish gig going this way because if you start that, I guarantee you the Scottish crowd will do this and it could be going all night long. Casey
Okay.
Abrams, it's been absolutely brilliant. This is going to be part one. We're going to do a part two. We'll get you and Nora on, and we'll talk all things jazz and all
Ooh.
things about your background with her. And thanks so much. And we look forward to seeing you in the UK. And I'm going to list this one more time for everybody. Make sure if you're in North Wales, you are there on the 20th of July and you'll see Casey. And if you're in Manchester, the 21st of July, the 23rd of July is London. You can, again, check out all these dates on Casey's website, all over social media. And the big one, 25th of July in Paisley, Scotland, the Bungalow. Casey, it's been great talking to you.
Thanks. Did you do Manchester as well?
I did mention Manchester. To be absolutely crystal clear,
Okay.
Manchester is on the 21st of July.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And then I look forward to the bungalow. That's gonna be fun, man. Yeah. Thanks for helping us out. Appreciate you.